in the zone where the cannons explode. Ian Beckles.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ian Beckles, and welcome back to In the Trenches. Hopefully, everybody's having a wonderful week. First and foremost, let's show love for our title sponsor that makes this possible. That's Manny and Gordon. I've told you guys a lot about the case that we have against Creative Loafing, and that's still pending. And we'll keep you abreast of what's going on. But much love goes out to Manny and Gordon. Thank you. I've been doing this In the Trenches podcast. I got to be a dozen years. It's quite a while now. And obviously, I'm a Buccaneer fan. I bleed orange. I don't bleed pewter because I'm an old school cat. But, you know, watching this Buccaneer team right now, and it's a preseason thing. And preseason, I tell everybody, you really can't figure out your own team in preseason. It's impossible. You're going against yourself, which you can't establish. You don't know what you got when you're going against yourself. And in preseason these days, nobody's playing anybody. So I don't know whether the Bucs are going to be good or not. Neither does anybody, all right? Because a couple injuries here or there and things change. But I'm pretty damn excited to go into this football season. And I don't do that very often because I think the ceiling of this Buccaneer team is extremely high. If Tristan Wirfs comes back before we think he might come back, and that's what offensive linemen do, that's when the Warriors do, and I think he's one of those. We have so much damn talent. Obviously, Chris Godwin as well has to come back and be a semblance of Chris Godwin. He's probably not going to be Chris Godwin. I would doubt that the guy that comes out of this injury is a guy that would have caught 120 balls last year. It just doesn't happen that way, unfortunately. If he looks something like Chris Godwin, we got this Ibuka kid. Obviously, Baker Mayfield is going to be a big equation and a big part of success or lack of success. But there's a few ifs. But if these ifs happen, this could be a really talented football team. That's not me putting a signature on anything. I'm just telling you the ceiling, all right? Because the floor is not that low. Like, I don't see this team going less than 500. I've been wrong before. I think they got too much talent to go less than 500. Once again, I hope they don't prove me wrong. Watching that game the other day, and I don't watch preseason games to say my team is good or bad. I'm just watching individuals. I'm watching a couple plays. Schematically, I'm watching a few things happen there, although there's not much happening schematically in a preseason game. But a couple things stood out. First of all, I'm hoping that Jalen McMillan is healthy, okay? First and foremost, that catch, forget about him landing. The catch, God bless you. I mean, you want to talk about sacrificing your body? Being in the air, upside down, knowing you're going to fall in the back of your head and you hold on to that football, God bless, thank you. Good for you. Now, that being said, watching the film and watching it happen, I don't know if we had a concussion or not, but I don't know if it's possible to come from that high, land in the back of your neck and not have a concussion. I don't think it's possible. But when you're seeing people's heads look like they're touching their knees, that's usually not good for your neck. It's not usually good for your back. And those are things, as somebody who's been through it, once you hurt your neck and your back, they never go back. Because it's football, and all you're doing is compressing your spine. And once you hurt your back, and once you hurt your neck, those days of... it just gets harder after that. I remember hurting my back the first time, and football is different after that because your back is hurt. That's it. Once you hurt your back, you got to hurt back. So I'm hoping that McMillan is good. I don't need to see him in the last preseason game, but he's looked good to this point as a number 3 or number 4, whatever the hell he is right now. He might be a number 4, and does anybody have a better number 4 than that? That's the potential that we're talking about, and that's ceiling. Now, defensively, this Buccaneer team, one of the big question marks is going to be edge rusher, obviously. And it's just it's so hard to see where we are right now. It just is. They had 4 sacks versus the Steelers. Whether the starters or not, I don't do that, okay? Having 4 sacks in a preseason game doesn't usually mean anything, okay? But it's good to see. Good to see names like Braswell surface I've been hearing the name for a while. I just don't know what he's done to this point, but it's good to hear his name. Okay, once again, that's a potential type of name, Braswell. Um, this Buccaneer team was top 10 in sacks last year, but as Buccaneer fans, we were all watching. It was scheme. Okay, it was a lot of it was Todd Bowles and trickeration, and it wasn't a lot of guys just beating guys up front. But that's the best way to do it. The best way to do it is if we have guys just straight beating guys up front, and we have names now. We have names, whether they earn their money or not. That's up to them. But the key to a defense is the pass rush. The key to our defensive backs is our pass rush. The key to our linebackers is our defensive line. You just can't have a great defense without a great defensive line. Our DBs, if I say to you, where do you rank our DBs? I don't know if you can rank the Buccaneers DBs high right now, although they're doing a great job right now. They have 6 interceptions in 2 preseason games. The Zion earlier interception was nice, and they've been running around and bouncing around, and that's what you like to see. But last year, they had problems turning it over. They did, and I think a lot of that has to do with pass rush. So this Buccaneer team has to figure out ways to manufacture turnovers. Looking at the defensive backs, Jamel Dean is an anomaly to me because I think if you put Jamel Dean out there, people will gobble him up. And a lot of teams would want him. But his film is weird. Like, he has fantastic film and just god-awful film. But always, it seems like. If you say to me, can you win with Jamel Dean? I think you can. But boy, Jamel Dean has a lot of getting better to do still, this deep into his career. Just, sometimes you see him on the wrong end of a lot of big plays. And I think he's a very physical defensive back, but I've said this a few times, and I don't know if I've heard this from the coaches, but I don't know how flexible his hips are. He just seems like a big, strong kid, but he finds himself in trouble. He gets himself in trouble a lot. If you don't have great hips, it's hard to play. It's hard to play defensive back. So keep your eye on Jamel Dean. I've heard some people say he's going to be the third corner. I mean, he's making a lot of money to be a third corner, but Jamel Dean's going to have to be a name that is a reason why this Buccaneer defense takes it, to another level. But once again, it all starts with those guys up front. Now, flipping back over to the offensive side, Bucky Irvin, and he's running back 1 right now. Okay, Rashad was that last year. We still don't know what Bucky's going to be as a running back 1. We don't, because we've never seen it. All right, obviously his durability is in question for me because I've not seen him do it. And this running backs and durability don't really go together in the 2000s. They just don't. If this kid can stay healthy, that's a big if. We don't know if he can. If this kid, and he's small, if he can stay healthy, could become a problem for defenses because I don't know if the Bucs have ever really had a running back that was catch that ball that he caught last weekend. I can't even think of a running back you'd really send on that route and then make that catch. And if you have a running back out of the backfield that has the ability to shake linebackers and get open and be good on safeties, like a Marshall Faulk of the old, and there's not that many of them left, but Christian McCaffrey can still do it. But if Bucky Irvin turns into that player, defenses have a lot to deal with. If we can get anything from our tight end, anything from Cade Otton or Culp, or whoever it may be, I'm not worried about our wide receivers at this moment because they're all healthy at the moment except for Godwin. If we can get something out of Bucky out of the backfield catching the ball as well, boy, that's a lot for defenses to deal with. Now, the Bucs picked up Teddy Bridgewater, I believe it was last week. I think he had 3 days of practice. Teddy Bridgewater is a coach. Teddy Bridgewater has been in the league a long time. There's people saying that he didn't come in here because of Kyle Trask. I think that's a bull-faced lie. If they had confidence in Kyle Trask, I don't know why you have to bring in another quarterback. And listen, there's still going to be people out there that are going to be Kyle Trask fans, and I'm fine with that. But if you had to bet your house, and either Kyle Trask or Teddy Bridgewater are starting, who would you pick? If you had to bet your house, I'll pick Teddy Bridgewater. Why? Because he's been there, seen that. And Kyle Trask hasn't. Kyle Trask hasn't really taken a relevant snap yet in his 5 years in the NFL. So, he may know our system. When he goes out there, he's going to be a rookie. That's the way it works. And that's the way it works, especially at that quarterback position. There's nothing harder to do than play quarterback in the NFL. Nothing that I can think of right now. Not what I'm talking about mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, the whole 9 yards. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, and not everybody can do it. Teddy Bridgewater's been through it. Teddy Bridgewater has that mind, and to pick up a system in 3 days, you have to embrace that. Egbuka looks legitimate early. Very early. Everything I'm hearing of him from coaches, from players, he's ahead of his time. That TD catch was a veteran catch to get himself open and not overreact and catch that ball in the corner of the end zone. I thought it was a big deal. I'm looking forward to wonderful things from this young kid, okay? Now, it wasn't all, beautiful for that game the other day. 41 yards rushing. Good rushing teams rush the ball regardless. They just didn't look good running the ball at all. At all for me. And listen, you can say, we didn't have Tristan Wirfs, but we may not have Tristan Wirfs for the first month. What you don't want to do is mess around and have to throw the football in the NFL. You got to run the ball a little bit. Every level of football. Didn't like it. Didn't like the way the running game looked. They had 8 punts. Now, the punter kicked his ass off. I think he averaged about 50 yards a punt. But 8 punts? 8 punts is too many. Come on now. In any game, any level, you don't want to punt the ball 8 times. All right? Although, I like to give you guys a Chambo football update since we play in the trenches as well. I don't know how many times Chambo punted the ball. We punted the ball a lot last Friday. It was our first dress rehearsal. Okay, it was a preseason game, so we don't want to say too much about it. It was against Wharton. We did not win, but we have Brandon this week for real, and I'll start giving you guys the Chambo football update on In the Trenches because that's what I'm part of. And also part of the Dignitary Cafe. If anybody needs a place to hang out, this can be the perfect place to watch football on Sundays and Saturdays, what's coming up. Buccaneer football, we have all the games on Saturday as well. So if you need places to hang out, we do sell kava and kratom and coffee and soft drinks and a lot of different things. It's a good place to hang out. And you never know who you're going to run into when you're here as well. Once again, much love goes out to Manny and Gordon, and I appreciate everybody listening in every single week. We're on YouTube. I guess you should hit a like or a subscribe or one of those things like that. So I appreciate everybody listening every week, and football season's right around the corner. I can feel it. Have a wonderful week. Peace out.
Some lawyers want to look like superheroes on a billboard, but which lawyers are regarded as superheroes in the courtroom? Trust the expertise of board certification.
Call Manny and Gordon or visit us at fightnegligence.com.